guest,
Marc, and I am out of Greensboro, North Carolina, and I'm so happy to be a part of this team. When you're with a group of winners, what else is going to happen? I heard something about Denzel Washington say, "Hey, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, eventually you'll get a haircut," right? So if you keep hanging around people that is doing that thing, making the money, doing what you want to do, guess what's going to happen to you? It's going to rub off. You're going to get it too, right? So I look forward to everybody who was a guest tonight that you become a part and join this powerful team. So I'm gonna get in your way and out of your way real quick. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Zoom etiquette and how all of that wonderful stuff works. I'm get my slides going here in just a hot second. And where are we? Where's my share? Bunch it up there. All right, don't freak out if you're seeing words pop up on the screen and all that kind of stuff. For some reason, I clicked the button that turned on subtitles. See, that's how I do it. So I learn stuff by clicking buttons. So don't be afraid to click buttons. If you're afraid to click the buttons, don't be afraid. Click them anyway. Nice, wonderful thing could happen. So anyway, we're talking about Zoom etiquette, and so there we go. Going to talk a little bit about that in two respects. One from a presenter perspective, other one's from attendee, because don't think that the presenter has it all on their shoulder. Like Mr. Smooth here, he's not doing all, he needs our help too, right? So as long as we're being a part and playing a part, it's important. And then we're going to talk about an app that's a part of Zoom that you can use to kind of, prop up your presentation of yourself as you're talking and meeting with folks out here. So hang on and we'll talk about that. We'll probably go through a little quick live demo and show you how to get that set up, and then any kind of questions you may have. All right. So let's hop into it here. I don't have to talk a lot about Zoom. I think we're pretty much familiar with that. It became very popular when the pandemic came through, although it was already out here, but it wasn't as prevalent at the time. And so when the pandemic hit, oh my gosh, everybody's, what do we do? How do we talk? How do we meet with people? Right. And this platform, Zoom, became a big hit at that time. So, and it continues to be a big leader in that space. But there's two types of accounts out there. You got your basic, which is your free account. You got your paid account that you can get on a monthly basis. That, guess what? Miss Stephanie talked about business write-offs. Guess what? That becomes a business write-off for you, right? You need that for your business. So you're meeting with people and talking with people across the world, across the nation. Right. And then also with Zoom, there's also this Zoom app marketplace where we're going to find that app we'll talk about, which is called Warmly.ai. So let's talk about what a presenter needs to do. Well, when it comes to the etiquette side of being prepared for Zoom, first of all, you want to get on and test before the meeting starts, right? Because weird things happen with technology. If you're not using technology today, then you won't really know what I'm talking about. But if you're using technology, your stuff is messed up one day or another, right? And you're like, oh my God, what's going on and why is it doing this? Only way you're gonna get it fixed is you got to turn it off and turn it back on. That wonderful reboot deal, right? So you want to make sure that when you get on or before you get on, that all is working. So get on early. Okay, don't wait to the last moment to get on, but get on early and test everything out. The other thing, as a presenter, you want to be in a well-lit in a area that doesn't give you a whole lot of distractions, right? Because you're going to be presenting, you're going to need to be focused on what you're delivering to your audience and make sure that they can get the message that you're trying to present to them, right? And then you want to dress professionally. And when I say professionally, you ain't got to do all of this little tie stuff and blousing and things, but look professional. I mean, don't come over here with your your chest out, like showing your guns and all this other kind of stuff, because that's not the kind of show we run in here. But if you want to come out, just get a nice little golf shirt, and nice shirt on, and because all we see is this up here, right? We don't want to know what's down below, because it could be a little questionable sometimes. But as long as you're looking presentable from here on up, I know you're going to be all right, right? The thing is, start the meeting on time. You heard us when we got started. Hey, we start on time. We want to get you out on time because we're very respectful of your time, because that's one thing that you can't ever get back. Right? You're deciding to spend your time here. but you're investing your time here, and you will never get that time back. So you got to make sure that you get the most of what you can get out of that moment. And as you've seen in some of in some of the conversation here, it's been in chat. And so sometimes whenever a presenter is presenting, they have some items that they want to share with you. Well, they can put it here in chat, and you can access the link, or you can access the picture, you can access the document, whatever the case is, whenever it's thrown in chat. Now, some of the devices depends on what you're on. Like computers, you can always kind of grab it and save it really quick. Sometimes on the mobile devices, it's a little different. Sometimes it depends on the type of phone you got. You can, pull it in, but I've seen where that can be a little spotty sometimes. So just know that if you're on your computer, most of the time you can pull that information right over into your computer, but on the mobile devices, good luck. So I'll say, but anyway, screen share. We're doing that right now. Screen sharing, sharing the presentation so that you can see what I'm talking about, so that you don't think I'm talking out of my head and like, oh, he got it all together. No, I don't. I'm looking at the slide, right? So that's helping me to be able to know what I need to speak about, what I need to talk about, what I need to present to you, right? So that's what's important, so that people can follow along with you, right? And I don't know all of the teacher tactics like Miss Stephanie may know, but I do know that it helps with following along and making sure that people are along there with you. And so when it comes to like emphasizing things, you got those little pointers, you got annotation. Sometimes on some meetings, and I see like these little lines show up and like, where did that come from, right? But that annotation feature is something that you can use, and I'm not gonna see. I'm gonna see if I can be successful here. So you can do like things like, oh yeah, there we go. I draw a circle, right? That's what we're talking about, etiquette for presenting, right? Or you can draw like these little pointers, right? Or whatever you want to do to try to emphasize what it is that you're talking about. But annotation is something that as a presenter, you can use to emphasize your point. I may have a hard time erasing that in minutes, but don't, y'all guys, just work with me here. Just work with me, okay? And then you can also use breakout sessions, right? Those are, we have our first Saturday training coming up. And I believe that's where I saw the breakout sessions happening the last time, where you go out into these different rooms and you can learn something more in a more integral setting. And I thought that was so cool, right? And so you can go into these smaller sessions. I was on a training one time, and the instructor actually had us doing some exercises in the general room. And he's like, well, I'm going to go off over to this other room. If you need any help, just click over here, right? And so we could just click over to that room and actually ask him a question and then bounce back in. So use your breakout rooms effectively. Like if you have multiple pieces of information and you have different leaders that you have that can present that, and you want them to learn more smaller sessions, well, you can use that breakout piece of Zoom. Okay, so let me see if I can erase all that stuff. I did. Yay. So now the attendees. Okay, you have a responsibility too, right? We don't just come in here and just sit and hide behind our cameras, or hide behind our cameras is not turned on, right? You got a responsibility as well. So first of all, get here on time. All right, don't be coming here all late. Don't be using that CP time, because CP time gonna get you there late all the time. So be here on time. As a matter of fact, come about 5 to 10 minutes early. That way you're gonna be here on time, and you ain't gotta worry about, well, am I gonna make it or not? You already here, right? So be here on time. Then when you get here, everybody's not camera, may not always be camera ready, or whatever you want to call it, or have your makeup on, or whatever you want to call it. But that's okay. Just come on camera, learn to be uncomfortable with that, really coming on camera, because I had to. I'm not a very extroverted person. I'm very introverted. And so coming on camera is always stressful for me. But I've just learned to be okay with it, no matter what it is. So I've come on camera, and so just learn to click the button and be present, right? So because it also helps your presenter know that there's other people with them or her, right? Because sometimes it get lonely. You sit here talking to all these little blocks, and you're like, is anybody out there? Anybody listening to me? Anybody paying attention to what I got to say, right? And so using your camera is very important. But remember this: if you come on camera, hit your mute button. We don't want to hear everything you're talking about. Because some people come on camera on Zoom meetings, and they having a whole nother conversation about something else, and they just saying blippity blap blap bloop, and we don't want to know all of that. We just want to know that you're gonna be present, and that you're gonna hear what we got to say, and hopefully you got some good questions to ask after we get done presenting, right? And if you do have a question, don't be shy to raise your hand. And you can raise this one if you want to, but there are also some virtual ones in Zoom that you can click on. There's a raise hand button that's out there that you can click your raise hand if you got questions, so that somebody can acknowledge you, and the presenter can say, hey, what is your question? And you can get that answered, right? Chat, we talked about that about presenters. Use that chat tool to come, have conversations and let people know what's going on, right? The chat function is good. Now, if you got this big old Zoom meeting, sometimes that chat can be distracting, so the presenter may turn it off, depending on what the information that's being shared and what the attention span is looking like with people going back and forth in chat. But for the most part, like this evening when we got started, we had some people come on and say, hey, good evening, how you doing? That's great. I love that. That's you got people that's just really nice and they love to see how your day is going. So respond back if you feel like, or do like a little emoji thing, like a little smiley face, or a fire thing, a fire emoji, or whatever the case is, but interact in the chat. And the reactions are the same thing, right? You can send up like a little smiley face, or what is it? The thumbs up, the claps. You can do all those kind of things with reactions. So if somebody says something that you like, then give them some prompts, right? And then participate. Like, oh, look, somebody's already looking at it. I like it. Somebody's already doing the reactions there. I love it. Thank you. Participate, right? And then that way you can be engaged. And so it's not one of those things where you're in there like, oh, when are we going to get to this meeting? Well, you like that because you don't want to give anything to the meeting. So if you give something to the meeting, then that way your energy is interlocking with all the other energy that's going on. And guess what? You're going to have a good time being there in that meeting. And then the other thing is respect. Everybody may not say everything you like, but that's okay. That don't mean that you beat them up. That means that you still show a level of respect. Somebody may say something off the cuff. You might, oh, well, that's pretty interesting point that you had to bring out. I'm just curious, how did you get to that? How did you arrive to that? Not what the crap drove you. You just a stupid something. That's not how you show respect, right? You show respect, just being respectful, right? And appreciate everybody else's opinion. Okay, so there we go. That's your part as a attendee. Let's talk about warmly. Just real quick, as you can see on my screen here, you see my name, you see, kind of a title, a community advocate, all some good stuff there about, who I am and all that great stuff. And that's come from this app called warmly.ai. It is actually an app that's available from Zoom under the paid account. So I don't know if it's available in the basic account, because I don't have one to test and I didn't create one before I came on the train this evening. So I apologize for not being ready on that respect. But on the paid account, I know that you can use these apps that are available inside of Zoom, the Zoom marketplace. And one of them is this one, this app. And it gives you that professional appeal whenever you're going on and meeting with people or clients or whoever it is that you're meeting with on the other side. You come up on there and they see that like, ooh, okay, all right, this is real right here. They're not playing, right? So you got your name and who you are, where you at, what's the weather like, how do I get in touch with you from your social handles, all that kind of stuff. It just gives you more of that professional rapport whenever you're working with your clients and working with other people, right? So I use it a lot. And the way you get to it, again, is in the Zoom apps store. I'll go through that in just a minute. I don't think it's necessarily a download that you have to put on your computer, but it's just available by clicking on it, and then it opens up, and then you can kind of go through the setup. We'll walk through it here real quick. And then it allows you to choose kind of a background. You see, I got this colorful background behind me. That's something that is available. So you could choose different types of backgrounds, and that's a key too. Like whenever you're presenting too, I didn't mention that, but have a nice little background or backdrop, whatever you got behind you. Some people use green screens. I don't have a green screen. I just happen to use the power of the camera and Zoom that's got a background behind me. But sometimes people like green screens back there because it shows a little bit more of a solidarity look whenever you're using that behind you. But it can get kind of weird trying to set up a whole big green screen, the whole studio behind you, depending on where you are. So just use the background stuff that is there, and you can save it and use that in your Zoom meeting while you're meeting. So, all right, live demo. Let's see if I can do this thing. Hold on. Let's see if I can share the right screen and show you some of the stuff that is available in Zoom. So here we go. Gonna share. I did turn on, oh, y'all seeing all my secrets. There we go. I turned the secrets down. Okay. All right. Hopefully I turned on the ability for y'all guys to see whenever I'm clicking and seeing things. Okay, great. That looks like that's working. All right. So in Zoom, if you got the page, I don't know, again, on the basic side, you should have an apps button that's in Zoom, and you go to your apps button, and then it gives you all the different apps that's available to you. But the one that we're going to talk about is this one here, name tags by Warmly. That's what we're going to look at. So I'm going to click on that here, and then expand this out a little bit so it will be a little bit easier on the eyeballs. All right. I don't want you to sell me nothing at this point. Just trying to get in here. All right. So when you get in, if you don't have an account, it'll ask you to set up an account. The good thing about it is that it will walk you through a setup. So if you're not familiar with it and you're like, oh God, Mark, what do I do? Or when we get off of here and you're going to try to do it, don't worry. It's got tutorials here to show you how to do all this stuff, how to set your profile and all that good stuff up. So don't fret. And after we get done, you can go back here. But the main place that you'll go is the name tag area. And so under the name tag area, see, you can see here, like this custom here, it'll show you exactly what you're doing as you're going through here, putting in the information. So you can put in like a picture that you want to have next to your name. As you can see here is mine. This is my big old tribe here of me, my wife, and our 7 children. We was at my grandmother's 86. No, I think that was 86. That was a couple years. Maybe she was turning 84 at this one. So, but we were at her surprise birthday party, so we took a picture out there at the park. But you can put your name, your last name, what city you're in. You can show location, time zones. You can see all of this stuff. And like if you have one of those names that people are like, how do you pronounce your name? You can put like here how in the world that you say that, so people will know. I was doing some crazy stuff. My name is not pronounced today. My name is pronounced as Mark. So anyway, you can put that in there and then turn it on, and then it'll show right next to your name. And so anything that you want to have showing here, you slide the slider, enter the information, and it'll pop up on your name tag here. And so if you want to choose a specific background, you can do that. You come down here, click expand, and you can see all of the different backgrounds here that you can choose. And if it doesn't have anything there that you like, well, you can always upload one if you got something specific that you want to have, because maybe you have your company logo on one and it's like, hey, I like to have that behind me as I'm, chatting with folks. Then you can upload that one and make that available. Or you can just do the normal blur out, or if you want to have some special settings, you could do all of this stuff. And then as you want to add like the title of who or what you're doing, like I have community advocate for myself. Here's where you put it under work, and you can put it there, turn on the slider and allow that to be shown here. You can show your company company logo. You just have to upload it. I don't think I've uploaded mine, but I got the toggle on. And then if you want to add like your social media handles, go under socials and put it there. Right? You got LinkedIn. And then you have, I guess it's called X now, formerly known as Twitter. I don't know why you got to go all the way through all that now, but that's how they name it. But your Twitter handle, you can put that on there. Those are all the ones they have so far. They may be adding more at a later date. But again, we just talked about the backgrounds. You could go there and just choose another one. So I'll just click on one, for example, and you can see here like it changed to this new background. And if you wanted that to become your new background, I think it automatically took it right now, but you could click set name tag, and then all of a sudden everything that you just added will show up here, and then it will be projected onto your Zoom session each and every time that you go into your session. So that's how you set this up. It's not very very time consuming unless, you want to spend some time, kind of just, fixing your profile up and making it even more, inviting to people. But you can also, one thing I didn't talk about is like, you could change where this is sitting. Like you can move this around. I think it's maybe under settings. Yeah. You can move that around to where, like, if you want it on the side, push this down. If you want it on the side, if you want it like that, you can move it around. I just prefer, I like mine on the bottom. But it's wherever you want to put it. You got themes, you can change the specific colors if that's important to you. And you can also update, like, how does the lettering look for, what you got on the screen. So nice little way to make yourself look even more professional when you're meeting with people. And hopefully, if you got, like I said, the paid version, I know it's in there, you can start leveraging that. So I think that is about it. I think my last one is Q&A. So if you got any questions, about that, happy to try to answer anything. I am not a Warmly representative, so don't ask me any deep details about that. But other than that, I can try to answer any other light-sided questions around this and about the etiquette of Zoom. So appreciate you guys allowing me to share. But if you have any questions, please let me know.
Awesome presentation, man. The question I had was, I know you mentioned that we didn't need a green screen. Do you have to have a clear background? Like, does it have to be just the wall behind you, or like I could have stuff behind me and it still work?
Oh no, you can do what you got. Like you blur it out, which that blur back there presents you more to the front. So it means that now people can see you more in the front from perspective. The only I would say is, like, if you had like a lot of traffic going on behind you, people running back and forth, that could be a little distracting, right? But if you're in a area where it seems like there's not a lot of things going on, you got a nice little backdrop behind you anyway that's blurred out. That looks very professional. So yeah, that will work as well.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
And Mark, the name tag, how did you get to that again? Was it nametag.com or what?
Oh, that was through the Zoom apps marketplace. So
Okay.
inside of Zoom, you can click on apps and it'll bring up all of the different applications that's available. And it was the name tag by Warmly is the one that you want to click on.
Okay. Is there a investment for that?
Unless you want to do, if you want to do premium, it is, but I don't do that one. This one you see is a free version.
What would premium be? I mean, how much more do you need? What is it? Put you to bed at night or something? What?
I don't know. I actually don't know what the premium is.
Okay. Okay. I just wonder. So the free version is enough to look as professional as you are right now.
It will, yes.
Okay.
What you see on the screen right now.
So you're in New York City with the Empire State Building behind you right now.
I just moved, man. You see how fast I moved you? Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Love
Any
it.
more questions?
No questions. It's awesome presentation, and we definitely not doing that in the classroom. It'll take all year to learn how to do that.
Is that right? No, I don't believe it. Not with you as the instructor, Stephanie. They get it right away.
All right. So